Hello, I understand it is being recorded in cloud.
Yes, sir, it is being recorded.
In cloud, okay. Okay, so thank you, Kritika.
Kritika, my voice is audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, student Tonu Bagaria. Hello. You should join as a panelist because there is a separate link for panelist.
Aditi,
Yes, ma'am.
can you please help Tanu to join as a panelist?
Okay, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah, thanks.
Hello. আচ্ছা 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 ঠিক আছে জুম থেকে পাঠিয়েছি আমি বলে দিচ্ছি আমি একে বলে দিচ্ছি প্রমাকে ঠিক আছে প্রমা হ্যাঁ 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 ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে ওকে ওকে হ্যালো কৃতিকা ম্যাম কৃতিকা ম্যাডাম কৃতিকা ম্যাডাম হ্যালো কৃতিকা ম্যাম হ্যালো প্রমা হ্যালো প্রমা
Yes, sir.
হ্যাঁ আচ্ছা এই যে আমাদের ডাইরেক্টর ম্যাম যে ওই জুম থেকে মেলটা ট্রেস করতে পারছেন না তো ওকে কি করে আরেকবার মেল করা যায় মানে ডাইরেক্টর ম্যাডামকে ফর জয়েনিং লিংক
কৃতিকাকে বলুন ইনভিটেশন লিংকটা কৃতিকা আছে কৃতিকা
করছে না হ্যালো কৃতিকা
হ্যাঁ স্যার বলুন
আচ্ছা এই যে হ্যাঁ বলো
ওই দেখো ওই যেটা প্যানেলিস্ট যারা আছে না তাদের নামটা খুললে তার পাশে একটা ইনভিটেশন লিংক কপি করা যায়
ওটা ডাইরেক্টর ম্যাডামকে পাঠাতে হবে
কাকে পাঠাতে হবে ডাইরেক্টর ম্যাডামের কাছে যায়নি লিংক
না উনি ট্রেস করতে পারছেন না
উনি ট্রেস করতে পারছেন না হয়তো জুমের অনেকগুলো
আচ্ছা আমি দেখছি এক সেকেন্ড হোল্ড করো
ওটা অশোক স্যারকে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপ করে দাও স্যার তাহলে হোয়াটসঅ্যাপে ম্যামকে পাঠিয়ে দিলে সেটা ইজি হবে
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা ঠিক
আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ জয়েন করে নিয়েছেন ডাক্তার ম্যাম জয়েন করে নিয়েছেন হ্যাঁ ডাক্তার ম্যাম জয়েন করে নিয়েছেন
ওকে ঠিক আছে
ওকে
স্যার আই হ্যাভ জয়েন্ড
হ্যাঁ
Good evening, all, distinguished delegates and teachers, honorable speaker, and my dear students. It gives me immense warmth and great pleasure to grace all of your presence in this webinar on this special day, National Science Day, organized by Institutions Innovation Council, Techno India University. Today, we feel thankful that in 1928, on this very day, Sir C.V. Raman gifted us with his discovery, Raman Effect, for which he won the Nobel Prize and gave us the reason to feel proud and celebrate today as National Science Day. Till date, India is among the topmost countries in the world in the field of scientific research in different sectors like agriculture, energy resources, healthcare, space research, and nuclear power. We celebrate National Science Day to discuss all the issues and implement new technologies for the development in the field of science, to display all the activities, efforts, and achievements in the field of science for human welfare, and to encourage as well as popularize science and technology among people, especially young minds. Techno India University, West Bengal, is a top-coming university of Eastern India. Holistic developments of the students is the key focus area of the university and have invested enormously in creating human resources capable of dealing with the challenges of 21st century. We have our Honorable Director, Madam Professor Dr. Rita Paladhi, with us, who constantly support and encourage all of us. Dr. Paladhi is an IIT alumna and a versatile academician throughout. We would start our program with inaugural address from ma'am.
Thank you, Momita. Good afternoon, respected dignitaries, panelists, my dear colleagues, and my beloved students. It is my honor to welcome you all in the celebration of National Science Day, organized by Institution Innovation Council, Techno India University, West Bengal. National Science Day is celebrated in India on 28th of February each year to mark the discovery of Raman Effect by the eminent physicist C.V. Raman. Sir C.V. Raman received the Nobel Prize for this discovery in 1930. National Science Day is celebrated to spread awareness about the importance of science used in daily life of the people, to acknowledge the contributions of the scientists, and to motivate and encourage the scientific mind of the young citizens for the betterment of the society. Every year, National Science Day is celebrated with a theme. The theme of National Science Day in the year 2022 is Integrated Approach in Science and Technology for Sustainable Future. On behalf of Techno India University, West Bengal, I take this opportunity to welcome our speaker today, Mr. Vijay Patil, Head of Quality Assurance at LM Manufacturing Limited from UK. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation. I'm sure that the student will enjoy your session and will enrich themselves. I'm also delighted to welcome our very own Dr. Shudi Kumar Ghosh, Associate Professor, Department of Chemistry, Techno India University, for accepting this invitation to speak for the students on this memorable day for the students, or this special day for the students. I'm also extremely delighted to know that our beloved students, Ms. Tanu Bagaria, Ms. Shwagata Majumdar, and Ms. Aditi Roy from MSc Chemistry and MSc Physics, they are going to present today on scientific discoveries. So congratulations, students, and all the best. It gives me immense pleasure to inaugurate the celebration of National Science Day 2022 at our university on behalf of Institution Innovation Council, Techno India University. I like to appreciate the initiative taken by the IIC to celebrate the Day of National Importance. I expect you to celebrate this day each and every year. Look forward to a wonderful session. All the best. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for such encouraging notes. And now I would invite Mr. Ravi Ranjan to address his views. Ravi sir is the Chief of Entrepreneurship and Innovation Strategy and Head of New Age Programs and President of IIC Techno India University. Sir, please.
Thank you so much, Professor Ghosh. My regards and gratitude to Professor Dr. Rina Palati ma'am for guiding us with this very, very interesting opening note. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of Techno India IIC to first congratulate the entire organizing team of the National Science Day celebration led by Professor Dr. Ashok Kumar Paul. Every year, as ma'am was saying, we celebrate this event, but at Techno India Group, we truly believe that every student has an opportunity to contribute toward various ways of academics, learning, entrepreneurship, and development of new ideas. When we talk about science, at every stage in our life, we are impacted through the discoveries of science, be it medicine, be it physics, chemistry, or any other segment. For a young student, it is very important to understand that when you are finishing your program at a college and you further go for higher studies, or you use the principles of science in your startup venture, or if you go and join a large organization, you need to always realize that the applications are not only limited to theories. This is one challenge which I also faced when I was a student. I always thought that how can I actually take important data points from various scientific discoveries in the past and implement those in real life. I think today it is very simple. Thanks to all the resources available online, as a young student, you can always look at what are the gap areas in various segments. Recently, during the pandemic, we saw some of the most interesting scientific innovations coming in from various fields, right from creating the RT-PCR test, which is one of the gold standard to discover COVID-19 virus. But then think about it. While the COVID test, which is RT-PCR, is the gold standard, there is now a requirement to have another mechanism to figure out if the patient has the Omicron variant. This is also very true in our life. One particular theory, while it is important, but you cannot stick with just one theory. You have to keep on learning every single day the new ways through which you can improve the life of yourself, and also to your improve your life for your consumers or your customers or your stakeholders, depending on where you are in your journey. If you are an entrepreneur, if you are working with a large corporation, be it government or private, or you are doing something of your own. I would like to summarize very quickly that at Techno India University we have various resources and infrastructure available to pursue your interest in any field of science, be it chemical, be it civil engineering, be it biology. We have a biotechnology department, and every other department where if you require any help, we would be more than happy to assist you. And especially if you have any startup idea where you're trying to build something new, you can certainly look at protecting that idea through IPR, patents. And if you are at an advanced stage, we'll be more than happy to support you to get connected to potential investors, mentors, etc. Once again, I would like to congratulate the entire team, and many, many thanks to all the speakers who have taken out their time from their busy schedule to join this event. Thank you so much, and I'm sure for all the students this would be a learning opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such enthusiastic notes. Next, we move on to our first honorable speaker of the event, Mr. Vijay Patil, to deliver his lecture on recent scientific changes and cleaning validation. Mr. Patil is having around 14 years of extensive experience in pharmaceutical organizations like Cipla, Wockhardt, Ajanta Pharma, FDC Limited, etc. He has also worked in pharmaceutical quality assurance and having core competencies in documentation, QMS, audit and compliance, validation and qualification, technical training, etc. Presently, he is the head of quality assurance, LM Manufacturing Limited, Northampton, UK. We are privileged to have Mr. Patil with us in this webinar.
Yep. Very good evening to all of you, and thank you very much, ma'am, for this your kind words. I'm very much delighted to accept your invitation, and would like to share my some thoughts on the recent scientific changes and clinical validation in the pharmaceutical field. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Can you please allow me to share it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, sir. We can see your screen. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah, recent scientific changes and clinical validation is the today's topic, and I just got to learn from your initial discussion that there are the participants from across the field, not only from the pharma. I can see that there are from the chemistry background, from the physics background. So I will little bit correlate to involve those students also, and I will not take much time to discuss on this and will not make you bore. Yeah, so going through this, uh, there are very much scientific changes happen or regulatory changes happen in the field of science, or you can say the pharmaceutical. And those are here present on the screen. And starting from the first, in June 2018, Food and Drug Administration informed of the presence of NDMA from a valsartan manufacturer. NDMA is nothing but the impurity. It is the N-dimethyl nitrosamine impurities. For the student of chemistry or physics, you just try to understand impurities in the pharmaceutical product is nothing but the unwanted product. We have two types of products. What are the drug we consume? What are the food we consume? They contain two types of products. One is active ingredient or active component, which is beneficial for the human being or to give impact on the disease condition. And second, along with the good, there is one more component, that is bad component. We can say the impurities. That is nothing but the unwanted products. So these are the impurities found present in the valsartan drug manufacturer. And from the 2018, this series happened in the multiple pharmaceutical products. In July, it happened in the valsartan, and this product was recalled from the market. September 18, again another impurity was observed, that is NDA, N-nitrosamine ethylamine impurity. Subsequently, in the October, this was happened in irbesartan, then followed in the losartan. Then to conquer on to make a control on such impurities, then regulatory authorities came in force, Food Drug Administration came in force and proposed interim limits. If there is unwanted products, we should propose some acceptable limits. So beyond that, those impurities or unwanted products should not go in the human body. So why those are unwanted products or impurities? Because they have some bad habits, we can say. They create adverse effect. They impact adverse effects on the human body. That's why those are unwanted, and those are to be kept at a minimal level. So in March 2019, another impurity, that is N-nitrosamine methyl-butyl amine, it was one of the impurity was detected in the losartan. So these were initially all observed in the ARB category of drug product. ARB category of drug product is nothing but a angiotensin resin blockers product, that is losartan, telmisartan, valsartan, that type. That is nothing but antihypertensive drugs. So this not only limited to these ARB category drug products. So it again also observed in the another potential drug which generally people are habitual to take. Yeah.
I would just like to interrupt that your slides are not changing.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me. Can you see now?
Yes, we can see slide 2 now. Yes, now it's changing. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Subsequently, this series was happened in the another type of product, that is ranitidine. Again, it came into metformin, nizatidine. Again, ranitidine was recalled from the US market in April 2020. So these were the recent scientific changes happened in the field of pharmaceutical in terms of impurities observed in the drug products. So why these nitrosamine impurities was being focused and why it is so much important in terms of pharmaceutical to control it. So nitrosamine impurities, the term nitrosamine describes a class of compounds having the chemical structure of nitroso group bonded to an amine. So you can see the structure represented here. The compounds can form by a nitrosetting reaction between amines that is specifically secondary, tertiary, or quaternary amines, and in presence of the nitrous acid. Nitrous acid can be in the form of nitrite salts under acidic condition. If the secondary, tertiary amines in presence of nitrosetting nitrous acid, which is nitrite salt under acidic condition, can form this nitrosamine impurity. You can say see the structure also, nitrosodimethylamine at the very right hand side. So why this impurity is specifically important? Because these are the cancer causing elements. These are completely banned as per ICH M7 guidance. As per ICH M7 guidance, the carcinogenic products or cancer causing elements shall be completely blocked, shall be completely nullified or ruled out from the products which we are taking on a routine basis. So means while taking an antihypertensive drug, you are thinking to get a relief from the hypertension, but side by side over a period of time, if you are taking this drug for long term of action like 10 years, 15 years on a continuous basis, and if such a drug contains these impurities, then there are chances of formation of the cancer in the human body. Okay, so one scientific changes in the recent in the pharmaceutical field, and again it is interlinked to the cleaning validation in the pharmaceutical industry. That way I'm going to discuss here. So why cleaning validation? Cleaning, everyone is aware that why cleaning is important, to make everything clean, tidy, neat, and dirt free and dust free. So that is our motto or consideration on routine life. So same way this has been considered in terms of pharmaceutical organization. So pharmaceuticals can be contaminated by potential dangerous substances. So what are the nitrosamine impurities scientifically found in the regulatory or scientific field in the since last 3 years? So those are potentially dangerous substances or carcinogenic substances. So that's why cleaning validation is so much important in pharmaceutical field. Second, sorry. Okay, sorry for interruption. Yeah, then in terms of particular attention should be accorded to the validation of cleaning procedure that has been described by the WHO, World Health Organization. Means what are the procedure you are following in the pharmaceutical organization that must be validated. This is the main funda in the validation of cleaning procedures. Then cleaning validation should be performed in order to confirm the effectiveness cleaning process. You not only to perform the cleaning, but again you have to ensure the cleaning procedure is effective and it purpose to do what is it mean designed to do. So जिस thought के लिए हमने उस procedure को implement किया है, it should work on that, and that effectiveness has to be provided by the procedure. So that has been expected by the PICS Pharmaceutical Inspection Convention Scheme. The data should support a conclusion that residues have been reduced to an acceptable level. That has been expected by the Food and Drug Administration. So whatever the residues left behind on the equipment surfaces after cleaning of the product, that should be reduced to an acceptable level. Means you should have the cleaning procedure. Your cleaning procedure should have the effectiveness so that it is meant that whatever we are designed, it is working, and it should remove the residues from the equipment surfaces at the acceptable level. So in this way, the cleaning or validation is quite important in the field of pharmaceutical and science based. So while designing the cleaning validation approaches in the pharmaceutical field, there are different strategies. First strategy is product contact surfaces, means wherever the products are being manufactured on the equipment surfaces, that product contact part has to be considered. Second strategy is after product changeover, means one product is completed and you are going to manufacture another product. In between first product and second product, that procedure has to be happened, and that particular attention should be given to the second product, which has to be followed after manufacture of the first product. That previous product residue should not go in the subsequent products drug product. Again, consideration should be given between the batches in the campaign. If you are manufacturing the same product in campaign basis, first case is one product, then you are removing that product, you are going to take next product. Third step is you are manufacturing same product but of different batch, having the same strength but different batch, but particular attention should be given, because if you are manufacturing same products over a continuous period of time, say 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, then particular attention should be given in such campaign basis that while manufacturing same product on long-term basis, the product residue itself should not be get degraded and it should not form the byproduct. Next one is bracketing products for cleaning validation. Bracketing products, what is this concept? You can make the bracketing in terms of if you are manufacturing one product and one product is having 4 strength, 2 milligram, 4 milligram, 8 milligram, and 10 milligram. So while making the cleaning validation, you should not, means by the bracketing rule, you should not perform the cleaning validation on all 4 strength. You can just consider lowest strength and highest strength. That if lowest strength and highest strength are giving the adequate result, then it is been by default expected that between both strength 4 mg and 6 mg will by default will fall between the acceptable results of these both strength. And next strategy has to be defined, that periodic re-evaluation and revalidation. Means if you have performed the validation today, then after over a period of time, due to environmental changes, due to personal changes, due to equipment changes, due to procedural changes, you have to consider all these changes over a period of time. Again, as an independent assessment has to be performed over a period of time as a revalidation. You can say either 2 years or 5 years. That is revalidation concept. So that is the overall concept. Now, to evaluate if the residues of previous products are available on equipment surface or not, you have to perform the sampling. Sampling is quite important. So here are different type of samples. One is swab sample. Swab sample is nothing but the direct sample. Yes, Mr. Ranjan sir has explained that recently there is a very much goal concept in terms of COVID-19, that we got that RT-PCR test. While using that RT-PCR test, we use the swab. Same type of swab is used in the cleaning validation concept in the pharmaceutical field. So that is direct sampling, means one has to perform direct sample from the equipment surface with the help of swab. That is one part. Second is the second type of sampling is the rinse sampling. Rinse sampling is nothing but you have to rinse complete equipment after performing the cleaning validation, after making the completely clean with the help of potable water, purified water, different type of detergents and solvents. Again, you have to apply the defined speed and pressure. Then with the specified amount of purified water, after completing this cycle, at the end of this, you have to collect around 250 ml of the purified water sample from that clean surface, and that has to be performed. This is called as indirect sampling. Another concept of sampling is the placebo. You just make a placebo. Placebo is nothing but it is a product without the active ingredient. So you have to make one such batch without the API and apply it and clean it, again perform the sampling. So you can make the compare with the sample with the product and sample without the product. So by that you can also consider if your cleaning process effective or not. Next concept is the transport of the sample and its storage condition from the manufacturing area to the testing laboratory. So that is also plays a great important role. Its sample should not be get contaminated, sample should not be get degraded while carrying it from manufacturing area to the testing area until you start the sample analysis. So now you collect the sample, you analyze the sample. So how you will evaluate if the sample results are within limit or not? In terms of pharmaceutical field, you have to make the assessment of acceptance criteria with the different recently happened changes in the field. And that is first criteria is the based on therapeutic daily dose, means whatever the drug dosage the person taking today and the drug product manufactured previously, and it is correlated with the maximum batch size of that particular product. So MACO is nothing but the maximum allowable carryover. It has been calculated by the therapeutic daily dose of the previous product, multiplication of the maximum batch size of that product, divided by the safety factor, and that is multiplied by the therapeutic daily dose of the next product. मान लीजिए अगर आप नेक्स्ट प्रोडक्ट लेने वाले हैं, तो अगर पर्सन नेक्स्ट प्रोडक्ट ले रहा है तो नेक्स्ट प्रोडक्ट कैन नॉट लेस देन 0.001 1/1000 daily dose, 1/1000th part of daily dose of previous product should not go in the maximum daily dose of the next product. This is the concept. I mean, this is very lower side of limit is described. Then another criteria is the toxicological criteria that is defined based on NOEL, no observed effect level. Again, it is all these are scientifically derived by the scientists in the pharmacologist, pharmaceutical scientists, and various toxicologists. They derived this formula based on LD50. LD50 is nothing but the lethal dose of required to kill the 50% of the population, and that is multiplied by the body weight of the person and divided by the 2000. 2000 is nothing but the additional safety safety factor. In previous formulation calculation, we consider safety factor as 1000. Here it is considered as 2000. Means we are applying very low limit. It is quite stringent and it is very difficult to maintain and to achieve such a type of limits in the pharmaceutical field. But considering the human health, patient safety, pharmaceutical are going to take care and they follows to achieve this acceptance criteria. Now, there is one more calculation of maximum allowable carryover, that is of 10 ppm. 10 ppm nothing but the 10 ppm of the minimum batch size of product should not, maximum batch size of the product, previous product should not go in the minimum batch size of the next product. मान लो आप 500 kg के बैच मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहे हैं नेक्स्ट बैच और प्रीवियस प्रोडक्ट आपका था 1000 kg का. अगर 1000 kg आप बैच मैन्युफैक्चर कर रहे तो उसका 0.001% of 1000 kg should not go in the 500 kg of the next product. This is one of the calculation. And the recent scientific changes in the pharmaceutical field is the permitted daily exposure, and this is quite been emphasized by the US FDA as well as European Medicine Agency as well as other European health agencies, PICS, MHRA, TGA, and Canada health regulations. PD is nothing but the permitted daily exposure limit, and this has been calculated by no observed except adverse effective level multiplied by the human body weight, that is ideally considered as 70 kg, and same is been divided by the various factors F1, F2, F3, F4, and F5. These are the factors considering F1 is the male to female changes, F2 is the human to human changes, adult to kid changes, then F3 is the genotypic impurities. Such way all impurities are considered, and that's why you have to achieve this permitted daily exposure limit. And if it's passed, then it is considered that your cleaning is effective and your previous product is not going in the next product. That's why all the impurities are being controlled. And what are the unwanted impurities? Those are not going in your next product. And such type of nitrosamine impurities could not happen, and will not reach to the patient and will not create the make the cancer in the human body. That's why in this way the concepts are applied. So why this concept of this arise? This is so long concept, but due to organization negligence, the cleaning validation could not happen properly, and such type of impurities could go in the products. And this has been recently happened in the Indian pharmaceutical organizations like Hetero Labs, Aurobindo Pharma, Torrent Pharmaceuticals, Lupin Pharmaceuticals, and those are taken very stringent actions, which were specifically formed in the ARB type of products. So such company has dedicated the equipment, such company completely dedicated their manufacturing block. So such products, such impurities should not go in the other type of products which are being manufactured in the same facility with the same equipment. So in this way, the recent changes happen in the scientific era and pharmaceutical field. And another acceptance criteria is visually clean. This is everyone knows. Whatever we have to see, that has to be clean while seeing it by the naked eyes. So that is visually clean criteria. So as today is the National Science Day, Dr. C.V. Ramanathan already said the essence of science is independent thinking and hard work, and it is not only just the equipment. So it is not only applicable to the equipment, machines, or physical part, but this is the independent thinking, your hard work, your dedication to make the procedures, to make the policies, so that you can manufacture a quality product in the pharmaceutical organization. So thank you very much for your patience. And any questions?
Thank you, sir, for such an interesting lecture. I open the webinar for discussions and questions from the audience now. So if you have any questions, you can raise your hand and I can unmute you, or you can put your questions in the Q&A. I can do the coordination for you. In the meantime, I have a question, sir.
Yeah,
how long does these validation processes take place? Like, what is the time limit?
Yeah, good question, ma'am. See, well, you can say there are minimum three runs have been performed. So once you manufacture first batch, you have to make the assessment after manufacturing first batch. Again, whenever there is second batch, same way you have to perform such assessment in this way. Again, in the third batch, if you completed such assessment on the 3 batches, all the 3 batches results are evaluated, compared, and if there is any outlier between results of all 3 batches, then such validation is again repeated. So this is performed on the 3 runs. You can say 3 batches or 3 runs. And again, for a period of time, you can consider it on a 1 batch annually. Otherwise, if there are changes in the manufacture process, if there are changes in the ingredients of the formulation, if there is changes in the equipments in the manufacturing area, so again, such type of assessment has to be performed on 3 batches. Again, if you are trying to include next product in the already established facility, again, you have to make the assessment, you have to make the criticality assessment, matrixing. If your PD value of the newly added product is less than the previous product, or it is more than the previous product. If this is not the worst case, then previous product results are acceptable and your previous product's cleaning validation procedure is okay. If your newly added product is more critical than the previous products, then Again, you have to perform clinical validation by taking these newly added products again with the 3 runs. Yeah, ma'am. Got the point?
Yes. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for such an interesting lecture. Now we move on to our next honorable speaker, Dr. Shudi Kumar Ghosh. Dr. Ghosh passed his MSc in.
Ma'am, excuse
Yeah.
me, just a minute. I'm sorry, Dr. Sudip Kumar Ghosh also. I have another meeting, and so that's why I have to leave up.
Okay, sure, sir. Thank you for your
Thank you.
presence.
Thank you very much for your invitation, and thank you very much for listening me. Wish you all the best to all the participants, panelists, students, and Techno India University.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your kind notes.
Yep. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So now we move on to our next honorable speaker, our very own Dr. Shudip Kumar Ghosh from Department of Chemistry. Dr. Ghosh passed his MSc in chemistry from IIT Kanpur, followed by receiving PhD degree from the same institution. He has 3 years of postdoctoral experience from Yonsei University in Seoul and have published 18 research articles so far in renowned international journals. His areas of research include bioinorganic, organometallic, and supramolecular chemistry. Dr. Ghosh joined the chemistry department, Techno India University in 2014. It is our great pleasure to have Dr. Ghosh with us and look forward to his lecture entitled Raman Spectroscopy, Recent Advances and Applications in Research for Sustainable Development.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Thank you for introduction. Good evening, dignitaries, guests, faculty members, students, ladies and gentlemen. Ma'am, please confirm me. Can you see this slide?
Yes. It is visible.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Is this full screen?
Yes, sir.
Just confirm whether it is changing or not. Is it changing?
Yes, it's changing. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, the title of today's talk is Raman Spectroscopy, Recent Advances and Applications in Research for Sustainable Development. So during the course of my talk, so I'll first talk about the Raman spectroscopy discovery, and then I'll briefly discuss the Raman spectroscopy, and finally I'll talk about the recent path-breaking research of 3 Indian scientists. So today, February 28, in the year 1928, on this day, Raman announced discovery of new radiation when light passed through a liquid. So this was later known as Raman effect. And in this picture, you can see here Raman is demonstrating his result in front of a group of scientists in Bangalore. And in the right side, this is the press release. So the announcement of the discovery of the Raman effect, it was happened in this day, and we celebrate this day as the National Science Day. So let me go through the early career of C.V. Raman and his achievements. And just a moment. One more. Sorry for the interruption. let me go through. Can you hear me, madam?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, so C.V. Raman, born in 1888, he passed matriculation at the age of 11. So he was a very talented student. So in the year 1901, he completed his BA with English and physics and got the first rank from the Presidency College of Madras. Then his teachers and parents wanted him to go to England to appear at the civil service examination, but he failed in the fitness test. And later Raman remarked that I shall always be grateful to this man, to the surgeon who declared him unfit. So because he had a strong inclination towards the research in science. And his father was a teacher of mathematics and physics in college. And from his early childhood, he used to read the books of his fathers. And he got great interest in physics and mathematics. At the age of 18, he first published a paper in British Philosophical Magazine. And later, the great physicist Lord Rayleigh, who actually went through this paper, and he expressed his views that he could not understand that a student in such a young age can write this paper. So he thought that this paper is written by eminent physicist. He did his master's in physics and got the first ranks again from the Presidency College, Madras. And here during the masters, so he used to bunk all the classes and did most of the time did research. And actually the college allowed him to do this. So for him particularly, so it was an exemption that classes were not mandatory for him. And then he got married, and his family was running short of money. So he decided to he decided to come to Calcutta and joined Financial Civil Service as assistant general in British government job. So there was a examination also here, and he stood first again. But his interest was in research in physics, so he engaged in part-time research at Indian Association of Cultivation of Science, IACS, Jadavpur. This was a voluntary work, and he never got any money for that. From his childhood, he has great interest in music. So his father used to play Veena. So, and this time he went through the Helmholtz's famous book, The Sensations of Tone. So he read this book and got inspiration and started research on wave and light, which is known as acoustics, and on the principles of harmonic generation of tones using the musical instruments, whatever available to him, like ektara, violin, veena, mridanga, etc. And working in this acoustics, he published 30 research papers in Nature, Philosophical Magazine, Physical Review, etc. He was a multi-talented person. So he did research on astronomy also. So he mounted a telescope at the rooftop of the IACS building and studied the planetary motion of Jupiter and wrote research articles also. So just one research article is mentioned here. Looking at the progress of his research. So once he published so many papers, then Ashutosh Mukherjee, then Vice Chancellor of the Calcutta University, offered him the Palit professorships of physics at Calcutta University. So he was looking eagerly for an academic position, the researcher position. So he resigned from the government job and joined Calcutta University. In the year 1917, the University College of Science started. So it was a new building, so which is now known as the Rajabhaja Science College. There he got a well-equipped lab and also some grants to build instruments. So he started his new journey in research in optics and light scattering. In 1921, he was awarded honorary doctorate by Calcutta University. He got a chance to visit abroad in the 1921 to attend the University Congress at Oxford as a representative of Calcutta University. So there he met the eminent physicists and shared his views about his research and made friendship with them. On the return voyage from the England, Raman spent several hours watching the sea from the deck of the sea and struck by its deep blue color. So he was pondering why this color of the sea is blue. At that time, so there was an explanation given by Lord Rayleigh that why the sky is blue and as well as the sea is blue, particularly the Mediterranean Sea. It has a intense blue color. So according to Rayleigh, the color of the sea is due to the reflection. The blue color of the sea is due to the reflection of the blue color of the sky. Raman suspected this. So after coming back, he used the nickel prism, eliminated other colors except the blue, and reflected that color in the water. And he proved that the color of the sea is not due to the mere reflection of the sky. It is the nature of the sea water that for which we see the color of the sea is blue. And he wrote this paper in the Nature 1921, and it was published. So this was a daredevil job. So that time, I think countering the Rayleigh, it was a so it must be he must be a strong character, and in fact he was. So he never feared to say the truth in front of anyone. And then the next few years, he did a lot of research in light scattering from liquid and published many papers. Then the turning point of his career came. So in the year 1922, Compton announced X-ray scattering. So X-ray scattered when they hit the atom and interacts with the electron. And in the scattering of the scattered X-ray, there is a decrease in the frequency. So this scattering can be explained. He explained this scattering with the help of new theory of light that was emerging that time. So it is the particle theory, particle nature of the light. That means the light is consists of photon. But that time, most of the scientists, so they did not accept this concept. So they mostly believe on the wave nature of the light. And you know the wave nature of the light that is that we observe in many phenomena like reflection, refraction, grating, dispersion, etc. And Raman was one of them who always doubt the particle nature of the light, but later he accepted that. In the year 1924, Raman again got a chance to go abroad. He went to Toronto in the University of Ontario to attend the British Association for the Advancement of Science BAS meeting and delivered talks on his research on light scattering. And there, Compton was also there. So during his demonstration, during the demonstration of the Compton about the Raman scattering, Raman and the Harvard physicist William Duane, they expressed doubt regarding Compton's result. And Raman criticized his work, and I quote from the reference given here. So Raman criticized, saying that, Compton, you are a very good debater, but the truth is not in you. So now we understand that how much courage he has and what is the self-belief. And then in the year 1927, his co-worker Ramanathan, he discovered a small fraction of light scattered with a change in frequency when the light interacts with glycerin. So he observed that some portion, tiny portion of the scattered light, scattered light frequency change occurs. So he termed this feeble fluorescence and could not understand. And Raman, he thought that this is perhaps due to the presence of impurity in the glycerin. So they took pure glycerin and some other transparent liquid water and saw that the feeble fluorescence persists in all experiments. So they concluded that it's a modified form of scattering. But at that time, they could not explain this fact. And then the turning point came. So in the 1927, Nobel Prize in Physics awarded to Compton for discovery of Compton effect. So when K.S. Krishnan, the co-worker of Raman, he informed him about this Nobel, then Raman got stunned. He immediately said to Krishnan, I again quote this, so if this is true of X-rays, it must be true of light too. We must pursue it, and we are on the right lines. It must and shall be found. The Nobel Prize must be won. So he understood that how important his work is, and he was almost sure that he's going to get the Nobel Prize by discovering this scattering. And then their group, in fact, they confirmed, they explained this fact. And in the year 1928, the first newspaper announcement regarding the discovery of Roman effect appeared. And this is the Science Day, and they created the history. And after 2 years, he was awarded the Nobel. And this is the first report of Raman observation, which was published in Nature. The authors were C.V. Raman and K.S. Krishnan. And it is a new type of secondary radiation that he put the title of this paper. And then in 1930, the Stockholm announced the Nobel Awards. Raman was awarded Nobel in the field of physics, and Hans Fischer from Germany got the award in chemistry. So this is the press release. And this portion I have collected from the nobelprize.org. Raman was awarded Nobel for his work on the scattering of light and for the discovery of effect named after him. So the scattering of light with liquid, with any kind of substance, liquid or solid. So the scattering, some scientists could not remember, so he gave the name Raman scattering. And in the Nobel lecture also, so he was so much interested about the color of the sea, and that so he put a subheading, the color of the sea. And the next story is, I'm sure that you know. So he was awarded Nobel, and then he moved to Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore, got the directorship, and later on he was accused of embezzlement of funds and got frustrated. And then when he established the Raman Research Institute, and he was there, he stayed there till his death. And he was a multi-talented scientist, so he has not only the profound knowledge in physics, but he has profound knowledge in all science, including mathematics and chemistry and biology. So he worked in various fields of research. So some of the research fields are mentioned here, and you'll be surprised to know at that time he published more than 500 research papers, and many of them, more than 50, in Nature. And some of the papers also appeared in the Indian Journal of Physics, which he founded in the year 1928. So he was the first Bharat Ratna awardee in 1954, along with Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan and Chakraborty Raja Gopalachari. Now, I mentioned one name, which is K.S. Krishnan. He was the co-worker of Raman, and he played a significant role in the discovery of Raman scattering. And Raman was many scientists at that time, even his co-workers, some of the co-workers, they accused him for not giving the proper credit that Krishnan deserved. But in fact, Krishnan never claimed that he has a good contribution to share the Nobel. And he just said that he's a part of the discovery team that found the Raman effect. But still, there are a lot of things that I don't want to discuss here. A lot of controversy. But anyway, the K.S. Krishnan was also a great scientist. So he was the faculty member in Dhaka University, later moved to Allahabad University, and finally he was appointed the first director of National Physical Laboratory. So National Physical Laboratory, it is the first CSIR laboratory in India, and he was the director of that. Also, he was knighted in 1946. He got Padma Bhushan. He was the first recipient of prestigious Bhatnagar Award. Bhatnagar Award started in 1958, and he was the first recipient. Having said this, so I mentioned the two names here, two Russian scientists, Mandelstam and Landsberg. So these two Russian scientists also observed the scattering phenomena that Raman observed. And Raman actually did the experiment by scattering of light with liquid, and they did the similar experiment by scattering light scattering with solid crystals. And they also observed the similar kind of scattering that Raman observed. And they also published their result, citing the Raman's original paper. They also applied. They got nomination for Nobel Prize in the year 1930, but the Nobel Prize was awarded to C.V. Raman only, while the Russian scientists, these two Russian scientists, were rejected. And the cause of rejection, it was nicely explained by Rajinder Singh and Rice in their paper. So these two scientists from Germany, so they went through all the documents, the procedure of nominations, and they concluded that Raman's example shows that to be nominated for the Nobel Prize, contacts with renowned scientists play a decisive role. Raman's nomination by the renowned physicists and Nobel laureates like Rutherford, Bohr, Stark strengthened his case, whereas the prospects of Landsberg and Mandelstam were nominated by their own countrymen. They are not that much known person, and that's why their nomination was rejected. And therefore the Russian scientist community, so they got hurt about this fact that Mandelstam and Landsberg, they could not share the Nobel Prize. And I think as a protest of it, so the Russians, they called Raman scattering as the combination scattering. Still many Russians, they call this combination scattering. Don't want to take the name of Raman. And at this point, I think now you may recollect that what happened to Sir Jagadish Chandra Bose. And the case of Jagadish Chandra Bose was different. So it was the Marconi who actually cheated Jagadish Chandra Bose. So Jagadish Chandra Bose, he actually invented the wireless telegraphy before Marconi, and but did not take a patent. And Marconi, he used the concept. He used something that is called as coherier, which is a particular typical component, very much important, crucial component for wireless telegraphy. So he got this idea of coherier from the Jagadish Chandra Bose, and used this and got success. And he took a patent, and he was awarded Nobel. So a lot of things are played role here. So in fact, the racial things also. So Jagadish Chandra Bose, in fact, he is regarded as the first discoverer of wireless telegraphy. And the good news is that Marconi's son, so he took many initiatives to give credit to Jagadish Chandra Bose. And here is some rare picture that I have collected from the Raman Research Institute archive. The picture of C.V. Raman with Compton at the center. And this picture here, it is with Niels Bohr. So C.V. Raman and Niels Bohr sitting side by side. Now let us talk about Raman spectroscopy. How Raman explained this, how Raman explained the Raman scattering. Okay, so I will explain with the help of the particle nature of the light, that means photon concept. And in fact, Raman, so he was so much adamant that he could still, during the explanation, he took a semi-classical approach. Okay, so a little bit classical, and along with something of non-classical, the quantum thing, that means the particle nature of the light. And so let us talk about a little bit about the Raman spectroscopy, what it is and how to explain this. So when light falls on the matter, the light particles, the photons, interact with the molecules or atoms, and either the light got reflected or transmitted or absorbed or scattered. Now, Raman spectroscopy, it is a scattering technique. It is based on the interaction of light with the chemical bonds in the molecule present. Now, Raman effect can be explained with the help of this diagram. So when a incident light with frequency nu0, energy h nu0, interacts with the matter, the most of the light, scattered light, does not change the frequency. The frequency remains same, nu0, which is known as the Rayleigh scattering. So it is called the elastic scattering. It is like the interaction of two billiard balls. So no exchange of energy occurs between the molecules and the radiation. Now, a tiny portion of the scattered light increases its frequency and as well as decrease. Okay, so that frequency, it is here mentioned as in nu m. It is the frequency of the Raman scattered light. So that we are interested. And this nu m, this contains the information about the molecules, about the vibrational states of the molecules. And in fact, most of the light, in fact, more than 99.999% is the Rayleigh scatter light, and only a very small amount. So here it is mentioned, it is 0.00, I don't know how many, you can count how many knots are there, is Raman scatter. Okay, so that is why it is very difficult to detect Raman scatter light. And Raman spectroscopy, it is a non-destructive technique. So after scattering, the sample remains same, and that is why it got more important, and it provides detailed information about chemical structure, phase, polymorphic crystallinity, etc. Now, how to explain this scattering? How to explain this Rayleigh and Raman scattering? So we can use this photon concept here. So look at the diagram, the energy diagram. When photon interacts with the molecule, the molecular vibrational level, the molecules can move from the ground vibrational level to the excited state, and from the excited state they again come back to the ground vibrational state. It is at the middle, Rayleigh scattering. Okay, so you can see no change in frequency occurs. So this is the Rayleigh scattering, and we got in the spectrum below. Most of the spectrum, it is the Rayleigh scatter. And in the left, when the molecules excited from the ground vibrational state and then come back to some higher vibrational state. So then the energy of the scatter light decrease, and we get some Stokes line here. And in the right side, extreme right, when the molecules from higher vibrational state nu1 excited and then comes back to the ground vibrational state nu0, then there is an increase in the scatter light, and those are anti-Stokes line. So the Stokes and anti-Stokes lines, so they have all the informations about the molecule. So Rayleigh scattering does not give any information. And Raman scattering also got Raman spectra got much more important. So because it occurs in the visible part of the spectrum. Now, Raman spectroscopy, so it has huge applications, and the applications, many real applications. Now, there are some advancement of the Raman spectroscopy. So how this advancement is made? So I can explain with this figure. So when the light incident and it interacts with the sample, then then either we got Rayleigh scattering or fluorescence, and along with anti-Stokes Raman and the Stokes Raman. So Rayleigh scattering and the fluorescence must be filtered out, and then only we get the Raman scattering. And at the same time, incident light, so that must be a very intense, high intense light, so that the anti-Stokes and Stokes we can get a little bit more intensity. And then also detector, so it must be sensitive so that it can detect the Stokes and anti-Stokes lines. And in fact, with the progress of the science, so those things are available, and particularly after discovery of the laser, the Raman spectroscopy becomes so much important. And nowadays, the helium neon laser, Nd:YAG lasers, laser diode lasers, so those are used as the excitation source. And lasers actually this gives monochromatic radiation and very high intensity. And therefore, the Stokes and anti-Stokes lines, intensity of the Stokes and anti-Stokes line, that means Raman scatter light is enhanced, intensity is enhanced. So in the year 1928, Raman mostly used the sunlight, and then later mercury vapor lamp for the experiment. And this shows that his ingenuity. So he was a not only scientist, and he was a great engineer as well. So because to detect such a low intense scatter light, so he used many techniques, and that I think it is not believable. We cannot believe at this time. Okay, again some modification. So nowadays the high sensitive detectors are available, like CCD detector, photodiode array, so that can detect even tiniest amount of the scatter light, Raman scatter light. And as well as we filters, very much sophisticated filters are available. So with the help of these components, now the engineers, it is the integrated approach of science and technology, so that formulate this portable that created the portable Raman spectrometer. So there is a Indian made version in DRAM, and this portable, any kind of portable spectrometer, whether it is Raman, whether it is IR, whether it is UV based, so that brings a lot revolutions in science. And portable instrument, so that reaches many of the scientists, and it's easy to handle, and the progress on the research, so it becomes it increased dramatically. So that is why the integrated approach of science and technology are required for sustainable development, which is in fact the theme of this year Science Day. And with the use of recent technology, there are a lot of advances in the Raman spectroscopy, like surface enhanced Raman scatterings known as SARS, for to get better signals. And here the enhancement occurs 10 to the power 3 to 10 to the power 6 orders in magnitude. And then TARS, tip enhancement Raman scattering to get better spatial resolution. Then SOR, these TARS and SOR, so these are microscopic techniques. So the Raman scattering technique is also used in microscope to get better picture, to get picture with high resolution. There are many other advancements like transmission Raman, resonance Raman, many stimulated Raman, and I am sure in the future, so many more advancement of Raman spectroscopy will be made, and that will be responsible, that will make great advancement of the science and towards sustainable development goal. An application of Raman spectroscopy huge. So you will not find any field where application is not there. So I'm not mentioning. So just I got a picture from this review article where only the search techniques, search is used, and search is given here, and look at the different applications. So it is huge application. In fact, SAR is used among all the recent techniques. SAR is mostly used. And in this picture, you can see the applications of Raman spectroscopy. So this is the global Raman spectroscopy market. And in the year 2021, it was $602 million US. In the 2026, it is going to be increased. Now, this is the last part of my talk. So here I'll mention the great achievements or some great discovery of 3 Indian scientists. They used the recent Raman techniques, and it was a path-breaking discovery. The first one is the discoverer is Dr. Sanjeev Sam Gambhir. So he was born in India, in Haryana, and studied in USA. And he was the director of Stanford Center for Cancer Nanotechnology. So he pioneered the using of Raman effect to detect cancer cells. So in fact, initially I searched in the Google that what are the applications of Raman in biomedical. So I got this paper. So this was published in the Chronicle, so not a journal. And then I went through in detail, and then I found that in the year 2020, he died out of cancer at the age of 57. So he was very active in his research, and he has great achievements so far. And in the year 2018, he was the most cited scientist in the world, highest cited. So now you can understand how important his research is. Unfortunately, he died, and in fact died in cancer, out of cancer. And his son also, a few years back, he also died in, I think, tumor in brain. Anyway, so then I went to the original article. So this is the first article where this Raman scattering is used in the detection of early stage of cancer. Okay, so this paper, so they studied this in the xenografted mice, but it is a concept of contrast enhanced Raman imaging for GI lesions. Okay, so GI lesions means it is the pre-malignant stage, and nowadays the white light endoscopy is used to detect the lesions. And white light endoscopy, so it can detect up to 1 centimeter of the lesions. And the group, Gambhir group, so they used Raman technique as well as some nanoparticle. So it is basically the search technique they used. So they used a gold nanoparticle coated with silica, and inside there is a Raman reporter. So Raman reporter, it is a Raman emitter. It gives strong Raman signal, Raman scattering signal. So the concept is it is intravenously injected, and they mostly got accumulated in the lesions, and then this Raman endoscope, which is a miniature version of this SARS Raman spectrometer. So it is inserted, and it gets very clear image, high resolution image of lesions up to 1 millimeter. So you can see the picture in the Raman endoscopy. So above and below, so there is even small lesions, shown by arrow, it is possible to detect. So they are therefore using this technique. Early detection of cancers is possible, and so that will make the cancer treatment much more easier, and the survival chance will increase. So after this, there are many more papers came, and still it is not in use. It is under still under investigation, but this is a path-breaking result. The next result even more interesting. So use of Raman spectroscopy to detect hidden substances. So you know that if we carry any hidden substances, like whether it is explosive, whether it's a narcotic, so it is, when you go to airport, so it is checked, and normally the X-ray scanner is used, but X-ray scanner cannot identify exact compound what it is. In fact, they cannot identify whether it's RDX, whether it is narcotics, and particularly if those are in the sealed vessel, glass vessel, or some kind of metallic vessel, it's difficult to detect. Okay, so using the search techniques, the Professor Siva Umapati and co-workers from ISC Bangalore, so they adopted a way so that detection of explosive and narcotic substances in the hidden in the container hidden inside can be found out. So the experiment is, so they took a glass cylinder, large glass cylinder, and inside there is another glass cylinder containing transstilbene, which is a Raman active material. So it emits Raman scattering, and outside there is some amount of ammonium nitrate. So look at the picture here, ammonium nitrate, which is regarded as explosive. And then they use the search technique. So the laser beam is targeted.
I would just like to say that that's a very interesting lecture, but we are running a little bit late of time. So if you can please.
Just I'm summarizing.
Yeah, sure.
So this technique is used. So particularly here, they use a typical collection fiber that is very much sensitive, and they collected the spectrum at 360 degree, around 360 degree, and many planes, and they give the name UMARS. Okay, so this technology, they took the patent, and finally, with the help of the technology provided by the high energy material research laboratory, they make a tabletop instrument that they gave the name Rider X, which can detect the explosives and narcotics, and this is currently is used by DRDO. DRDO is testing this. And lastly, it is the discovery of Professor Chandrabhas Narayan, so who was a professor of JNCSR. So his group used SARS and molecular dynamic simulation and dynamics to study a kinase inhibitor, and which is an emerging field of drug delivery tool. And in fact, they used this they used the computational tool in drug discovery. And after publication of this result, so this is a path-breaking result. So drug delivery by using the drug delivery using computational tool. So many groups started this work, and now it is in full bloom, that drug discovery using computational tool. So I end my lecture by quoting on Raman's advice to aspiring scientists: the scientific research needed independent thinking and hard work, not equipment. In this picture, this is a tree. It is planted on the Raman's board, where Raman is cremated in the RRI, Bangalore. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir, for such a relevant lecture. Indeed, you make us feel that how the cause of celebrating National Science Day is actually connecting us to the theme of National Science Day this year, that is sustainable development. As we are running short of time, so I would next go to the next section of our event, that is the lectures by our dear students. So I move on to the young speakers who represent the future of our nation. We will start with Miss Tanu Bagaria, who is pursuing her MSc first year courses in the Department of Chemistry, Techno India University. Previously, she did her graduation in chemistry honors from Ram Mohan College, Calcutta University. She will give us a lecture on science, technology, and innovation for sustainable development in India.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm unable to share my screen. It's like host disable screen sharing.
Okay, wait a moment.
Okay, Tanu, can you please check? I made you a co-host.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, is it visible?
Yes, it is visible and you are audible too.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm going to deliver a lecture about science, technology, and innovation for sustainable development in India. United Nations General Assembly adopted a set of 17 Sustainable Development Goals in 2015 with an aim to end poverty, protect the planet, ensure peace and prosperity to all. To achieve these sustainable development goals, science, technology, and innovation plays key role, basically in three areas: agriculture, environment, energy, and health sector. Coming to agriculture, sustainable agriculture promotes to protect environment, so improve soil fertility, ensuring world food security. So various agricultural practices and technologies are being adopted, like blockchain technology. It is a smart technology for management, crop, market, and many other factors. Biosensors are being used to test soil fertility. To reduce the use of fuel, India is using bioethanol fuel, which is ensuring cultivation of bio-organic crops. Solar power pumps are being used by farmers for cultivation. Waste management, like cow dung, is being used to improve soil fertility. Next point is smart farming, which is a bright future for farmers because it is also known as grain revolution, and it is an approach to new technologies for agricultural practices. A national mission for sustainable agriculture in 2015 promoted to ensure soil fertility, keeping the health sector in mind under National Action Plan on Climatic Change, which made sure to avoid the risk of climate by adopting climatic risks factors. Coming to our next sector, environment. Nature is God's greatest gift to mankind. So to protect the nature from being degraded by deforestation or global warming, sustainable innovations in India in the field of environment are being adopted to restore our nature's biodiversity. Like rice husk is being used to make eco-friendly furniture to reduce deforestation. Plastic plates, cutleries are being replaced by jackfruit plates, which is biodegradable and edible as well. It is eco-friendly method. Now, we offer flowers in religious places, and which are being used as natural dyes for khadi clothes. But instead of using foil and plastic for food packaging, we are using banana leaves. Students across India are trying to build a fully functional zero energy house, which is 100% energy efficient and uses no electricity, and also saves energy for our future generation. Water vending machine is also being made by Indian, which will provide clean drinking water by using waste materials of plastics. Not only this, technological innovations are also invented for sustainable development in the field of science and technology. Like electric transports are being replaced by diesel transports. It is not only cost effective, but also saving energy. Plastic industries are moving away from take, make, and dispose business and adopting a circular model of eco-friendly method pyrolysis to make plastics like polyurethanes. Incandescent bulbs are being replaced by LED lights all over India. Solar cells are being used to save energy. Carbon capture and storage. Carbon is being captured at its source site and is moved and transferred to its permanent storage site. This is not only a method for carbon capture, it is also a profitable method for using CO2 to make plastics, and it has the great potential to reduce global warming. Nowadays, hydrogen fuel cars are being made. It has high fuel efficiency, and for long distance travel, it is being widely used. India has been uniquely developing a nuclear fuel cell cycle to reserve its thorium and India has the strongest nuclear power in the world. Coming to human health and medicinal factor, human health is one of the key factors for today's sustainable development, and we all have realized it after suffering a huge pandemic. Nuclear techniques like radar techniques are being used for diagnosing and treating diseases like cancer. India has not only achieved vaccination by developing a DNA vaccine and has also successfully achieved its COVID-19 vaccination mission across the world. India has also developed anti-malarial drug and diffusion in an era of multi-drug resistance. Indian government is organizing various healthcare camps and programs to promote or spread awareness among people to reduce waterborne diseases like diarrhea. Government of India has also taken measures for clean sanitation. Our Indian government has taken various steps for sustainable development in the field of science and technology. Not only financially, India Department of Science and Technology has been mandated by Indian government to promote capacity building in science research and development. Various initiatives under Make in India missions have started, like Startup India, Digital India, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. For, like I said in my previous slide, Clean Sanitation Challenge, Swasth Bharat relating to healthcare, COVID-19 mission and all. Not only this, Department of Science and Technology has also collaborated with Ministry of Human Resource and Development and has entitled and has also going through a project named Imprint, Impacting Research, Innovation and Technology to promote which aims to protect societal needs of health, information, technological and sustainability. India is widely improving in educational sector by various schemes like Nidhi, National Initiative for Developing and Harnessing Innovation, which promotes culture, innovation, and encourages students to take up science and research. Not only students, through its Indian government, through its scheme Kiran, knowledge involvement in research advancement through nurturing is also encouraging women to take up research who suffered a break in their career. A strategy is also being followed by Indian government to develop national science, technology and innovation policy by the name technology transfer. Indian government is financially supporting the development of science and technology. Recently, our Union Ministry of Science has been granted rupees 14,217 crore in the new 2022-23 budget. So, and I have got this information from the Trading Economics India. I would like to conclude by saying that India is emerging in superpower in the field of science, technology and innovation. India has made remarkable progress in the field of defense sector, nuclear sector, like with the advent of the BrahMos missile by collaborating with Russia. India's Atmanirbhar Abhiyan mission initiative under Make in India mission is providing great results in terms of finance, defense, and is a talk of the hour. India also made history by setting up Asia's largest bio-CNG plant in India recently, and it's inaugurated on 16 Feb 2022. And another history is created. Our Make in India initiative is shining, and India's leading technocrat scientists are bringing bright future to the country. I would like to express my thanks to our director ma'am for giving me the opportunity to present this, and special thanks to our departmental head, Sir Arup Ratan Biswas, sir, who believed in me and gave me this golden opportunity. I would also like to thank my other faculty members. I would also like to thank our department's faculty teachers who helped and guided and supported me in making the presentation. Thank you, everyone. Now you can ask me any questions if you have.
As Tanu said, thank you, Tanu. And the webinar is open for questions. We can quickly take one question. Okay, so Tanu, can you please remove your screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Tanu.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Next, we move on to the lecture by Miss Shagota Mojumdar. Shagota is a MSc second year student of Department of Physics, Techno India University. Previously, she did her graduation from Dinobandhu Andrews College, Calcutta University. She will be giving us a lecture on sustainable development in renewable energy in India.
Am I audible?
Yes, Shagota.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, Shagota. Yeah, we can see your screen.
I have always been told that we need to save electricity. Why is that? It's because the energy coming from the fossil fuels are being used to provide us this electricity. Now, why is it so that we are being saved to conserve or rather save electricity? I'm Shagota Mojumdar from MSc Physics Department, Techno India University, and I'm going to present a talk on the sustainable development in renewable energy in India. With the increasing economic growth and urbanization, the energy consumption rate has also increased, and this demands for a sustainable source of energy. India is the second largest country by population after China, as we all know, and an ever-increasing population is estimated until 2050, which will co-accelerate the energy consumption. So this calls for a solution. The key solution to this is the maximum utilization of renewable energy sources. As my previous friend has said that the United Nations has set some sustainable development goals for all the nations. Owing to that, India is adopting efficient use of renewable energy sources to achieve sustainable development goals. The Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE, and the National Institution for Transforming India, IO, NITI IO, work for the progress of India and its state towards the accomplishment of the Sustainable Development Goals and provide a long-term solution to the increasing consumption rates. The sustainable development is incomplete without the application of utilization, without applying what we are using the renewable energies for. So moving on, the renewable energies, or rather renewable energy sources, find a wide variety of applications. As I said, sustainable development is obtained through optimum use of natural resources and adoption of advanced technologies. Owing to this, the sustainable development in renewable energy in India finds applications in a wide range of sectors. Starting with electronics, we can see all on us that solar cells have become a prime field of research. Electronic devices, even calculators, are using or rather implementing the use of solar cells for high efficiency. Not only that, we have the transportation. As my friend said earlier, that we have electric cars and buses. They're using lithium-ion batteries, which are curbing the emission of greenhouse gases and contributing to the green environment. Communication, food preparation on a large mass scale using solar kitchen, agriculture, utilization of solar panels, and many more. These are all applications of the renewable energy sources. energy efficiency is becoming more relevant in all areas. Now, walking on this path of sustainable development, it is incomplete, or rather, we won't be able to reach a point until and unless we have a target. India too has. India has committed to provide a healthier planet and aims to substitute non-renewable energy sources with renewable ones. India has huge potential and has set a target of achieving 40% of total power production from renewable sources by 2030. India aims at not only this, but also towards contributing to the environment by reducing the emission of greenhouse gases by 33 to 35%. The national grid is a hybrid AC-DC transmission system. It has been implemented, but more modifications and evolution of this microgrid and other hybrid grids are expected. So where is India now? Over the past decade, many of the works have been done in India. Scientists have been working continuously to provide better and better. Moving on to the status of India. India is not only the second largest to China in consumption, but also in total power production from renewable energy. Over the past decade, the government of India has been tediously working towards achieving the goal and has adopted many policies to promote renewable energy generation. India is expected to become the second largest contributor to global energy by 2035. The data on the screen shows India's progress and rather the growth of renewable energy over the past decade in India. We have utilized not only solar and wind energy, but also biomass and small hydro power. Now let's have a look at the state-wise contribution of India, because India cannot work by a few states. It has to work all together. Moving on. The graph on the screen provides the data about the contributions of various states in India towards renewable energy generation. Leading the list are the states Karnataka, following is Tamil Nadu and Gujarat. India has huge supply of natural resources and high insulation. The favorable climatic conditions enables India to have power generation through solar and wind in the southern states, while small hydropower generation is more contributed by the northeastern states. See, I told, like, India cannot work only with a few states. All states has its own capacity and efficiency. This has been what our states have been contributing in solar, biomass, small hydropower, and wind. Looking forward to the success achieved by India as a whole. Grid stability of large-scale renewable energy integrated power system. This has been a joint product of India with the foreign country. Several policies and projects have been undertaken by Indian government, and some of them are pretty noteworthy, like Center for Wind Energy Technology, set up as a scientific and industrial research organization for wind resource assessment, equipment certification, and research and development at Chennai in Tamil Nadu. Over 4,200 megawatt grid power from wind, small hydro, biomass, and solar energy. The first mentioned project here on the screen has been completed, and it was an Indo-Canadian collaboration followed by the works on microgrid funded by Industrial Research and Consultancy Center, IIT Bombay. Not only this, there has been installation of biogas plants and many more. This is what we have already achieved, but yet we are more to do. And the ongoing projects. Although over the past decades, India has progressed in achieving its goal, but some sectors are still in the nascent stage, which is why several projects are ongoing, as we can see on screen, and we hope to complete them and rise as one of the greatest contributors in the world. Not only limited to this, what about the future prospect of India in sustainable development in renewable energy? In-house R&D. Now, what is that? A lot of finance is spent on the research and development for making, be it solar cells or other equipments. In-house research and development is a necessary requirement. Otherwise, what we make for ourselves will cost us a lot. The transmission and distribution losses by setting solar plants, talent greed, and utilization of tidal energy, which is very nascent in India, in the coastal areas, can be looked upon. And this is going to provide us with immense energy. I've been talking about what we have done and what we can do. So, in summary, India has a vast pool of engineers and resources which can be utilized to sustainability. The transition to renewable energy sources from the conventional energy sources is slowly gaining pace in India, and we intend to stand out to our goals soon and achieve the motto of Make in India. India proudly embraces the initiative and is working tediously towards it. I would like to conclude my talk by expressing my gratitude to Technology University, the head of my department, Dr. Krishnan Chatterjee, and other faculty members for giving me this golden opportunity to present a talk on sustainable development. And I'm proud to be a part of this event on National Science Day. Thank you.
Thank you, Shagota. That was a very interesting lecture. And if you have any audience, if you have any questions, you can ask to Shagota. Okay, so I think we can move on to our final lecture. That is our last speaker. Thank you, Shagota. That is our last speaker is Ms. Aditi Roy. Aditi is MSc second year student of Department of Chemistry, Techno India University, and she will give us a lecture on vaccine technology in India.
Thank you, madam, for your information. I'm sharing my screen. Ma'am, is my screen visible and am I audible?
Yes, Aditi, you are visible, audible, and your screen is visible also.
And thank you, ma'am. At first, a very good evening to Honorable Sir, Madam, and my fellow speakers. On the celebration of National Science Day, I am going to present the development of vaccine technology in India. India, the evolution of vaccine science that was started in 19th century through all over the world, and India amongst the very few countries have involved in this evolution. Because up to till 1850, the vaccines were mainly imported from Great Britain. But due to increase in the demand of vaccine in among Indian civilizations and the problems in facing the storage of vaccines, then the British India decided to manufacture vaccine in India using Indian technology. Not only in 1850, there are records of vaccine research in Bombay and now Mumbai in the year of 1832, and the first animal experiment that was started in Chennai in 1879 with initial success in 1880. Like all other countries in all over the world, India also, after getting freedom, India also took some immunization program that is known as expected immunization program in 1978, and this immunization program gained a huge momentum and as known as Universal Immunization Program, UPI, in the period 1989 to 1990. Under this immunization program, Government of India decided to provide vaccines to the 7 vaccine preventable diseases, and these diseases are mainly diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus, polio, measles, tuberculosis, and so on. The 2 major milestones that this immunization program taken by Government of India has achieved: elimination of polio in 2014 and the maternal tetanus in 2015. In the vaccine research and development, I want to highlight in this part of my presentation the key initiatives that are taken by Government of India to support basic and translational research for strengthening the vaccine science. Government of India has taken some program, including the Indo-US Vaccine Action Program, that is known as VAP, National Biopharma Mission, known as NBM, India Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness and Innovations, that is known as India CEPI mission, and last and most important part of this time, that is Mission COVID Suraksha. In Mission COVID Suraksha is my next point of discussion. That we all know the COVID-19 is a worldwide pandemic and has led to a dramatic loss to not only human life, but also it become a challenge and badly affects to the education system, to global economy, and to global workforce a lot. COVID-19 mainly a worldwide pandemic that is caused by severe acute respiratory syndrome, that is known as SARS-CoV-2, and the first COVID-19 cases that was reported in Wuhan, a city of China. With the all over the world, the Indians' life was also stopped through this pandemic. But very fortunately, the India started its largest vaccination program, and in the starting of 2021 January, and in the end of February 2022, more than 176 crore vaccinations are administered in India, and more than 99% of people of total COVID-19 cases that are recovered from this COVID. So my next point of discussion is COVID-19 vaccination in India. India started its largest COVID-19 vaccination program through its 2 most important vaccine, that is a Covishield, manufactured and developed by AstraZeneca, and another one that is India's first indigenous COVID-19 vaccine, that is Covaxin, developed and manufactured by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with Indian Council of Medical Research, that is ICMR, and National Institute of Virology. In Covaxin, mainly inactivated whole virion virus cell is used. And to use the inactivated cell is not a very much new technology in vaccine science, because we can see that in polio vaccine, also inactivated polio viruses are used to generate the immunity against polio. The inactivated virus are totally incapable of infecting people, but they are still able to instruct the immune system to mount a defensive reaction against an infection. From the official website of Bharat Biotech, it is recorded that the current Covaxin production is approximately 6 crore doses per month. It is a very much high and appreciable value for any vaccine manufacturer in whole world. Now the question is how much effective this Covaxin is towards the human body. Research has demonstrated that this Covaxin are almost 77.8% effective towards a symptomatic COVID-19 patient, and this data is almost 93.4% to a severe symptomatic COVID-19 patient. And the persons aged less than 60 years, this efficacy data is more than 79%, and persons aged more than 60 years, this data is almost 68%. Now it's time to thank to the great scientists behind India's first COVID-19 vaccine. India's first COVID-19 vaccine, that is Covaxin, and it is developed by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with ICMR. Bharat Biotech was established in the year 1996 by Dr. Krishna M. Ella, a remarkable research scientist on molecular biology, and his wife, Mrs. Suchitra Ella. And they are considered as one of the leading vaccine manufacturers in world. For their contribution in the field of medicine and vaccine, they have awarded one of the most prestigious award of India, Padma Bhushan, in the year of 2022. Now, not only COVID-19 vaccine, not only Bharat Biotech, there are a lot of leading vaccine manufacturers in India, and they have supplied a huge number of vaccines, different vaccines to all over the world. I have listed only 5 names in my presentation. They are Serum Institute of India Private Limited in Pune, Bharat Biotech International Limited in Hyderabad, Zydus Cadila in Ahmedabad, Biological E in Hyderabad, and last but not the least, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories is also in Hyderabad. So they are significant in R&D investments and have yielded several breakthroughs, including world's first eco-friendly recombinant hepatitis B vaccine, rotavirus vaccine, and typhoid conjugate vaccine. From the official website of Serum Institute of India and Bharat Biotech, it is recorded that Bharat Biotech have delivered over 4 billion vaccine doses to all over the world, and Serum Institute of India delivered more than 1.5 billion doses of vaccines to all over the world. Now, vaccine supply. India is regarded as the world's largest vaccine manufacturer, and they have supplied a huge number of vaccines from the time of vaccine manufacturing to all over the world. In the time of this pandemic, India has supplied over 723 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccine to 94 countries, including 2 UN entities up to December, under the Vaccine Maitri program initiated by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India. Not only this COVID-19 vaccines, India also supplied the COVID-19 related medical kits, that is PPE, masks, etc. from the beginning of the pandemic. Bangladesh has received almost 91 lakh of vaccine doses from India, and United Kingdom has received almost 50 lakh doses of COVID-19 vaccines from India. These 2 countries have received the most number of vaccines from India. Now it's time to conclude my presentation. That is, India is a world leader in vaccine manufacture, and Indian pharmaceutical companies supply more than a 50% global demand for different vaccines. In 2014, India became the first implementing country donating to Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunizations, that is known as GAVI, committing $4 million from the period 2013 to 2016. And India doubled its contribution, committing $8 million for the 4-year period from 2018 to 2022. Not only this, India's remarkable achievement in vaccine research and development, as well as massive manufacturing, shows the country's commitment in development, science and technology for sustainable development under the able leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Damodar Das Modi. The Atmanirbhar Bharat, that is known as Make in India mission, undertaken by Government of India under the chairmanship of our Honorable Prime Minister Sri Modi, is showing promising results in all the sectors of science and technology. So at the end of my presentation, I would like to thank to the Honorable Chancellor, Sir Professor Dr. Gautam Rai Choudhury, for being the guardian for the university in our holistic development. I would like to thank to the Honorable Co-Chancellor, Ma'am Professor Dr. Mrs. Manasi Rai Choudhury, for being instrumental in developing the academic spirit in the university. And I take this opportunity to show my heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Vice Chancellor, Sir Professor Dr. Gautam Sengupta, for his involvement in academic excellence of the university. At the same time, I acknowledge the Honorable Director, Madam Professor Dr. Mrs. Reena Paladhi ma'am for her constant support in day-to-day academic affairs and more support to the students. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the faculty, honorable faculty members of my Department of Chemistry for their constant support, and especially I would like to thank Dr. Arup Ratan Bishwas sir, Head of Department Chemistry, for encouraging me to be the part of the program as well as rendering help in shaping my presentation. Thank you everyone for giving me this opportunity to present in such a prestigious stage. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aditi. That was a very relevant lecture in today's pandemic situation. Now we have come almost to the end of this 2-hour enriching journey of scientific innovations in India. I request all audience to fill up the feedback sheet, which is posted in the chat box by Dr. Ashok Kumar Paul. And finally, I invite Professor Krishanu Chatterjee, Head of the Department of Physics, for concluding remarks and to propose the vote of thanks.
Yeah, am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Yeah. So, very good evening, everybody. The series of lectures are really very informative, and it enriches our knowledge as far as I think. So thank you, Honorable Director Madam, for supporting and motivating us to organize such program. Hope your support is always there and we can organize such program in future. Thank you, Mr. Ravi Ranjan, President of IIC Techno India University, for your motivating talk. I'd also like to thank Mr. Vijay Patil, Head of Quality Assurance LM Manufacturing Limited, Northern UK, for the mesmerizing talk. Thank you, sir, very much. You took out some time from your busy schedule and you gave a mesmerizing talk. Thank you, Dr. Shudi Kumar Ghosh, our faculty, Department of Chemistry, for informative talk. So much informative, so many information we got from his talk. Thank you all the students, Ms. Tonu Bagaria, Ms. Shagota Mojumdar, Ms. Aditi Roy. It was so wonderful that you were involved. You are involved in this event so much, and the presentation shows us this thing. I'd also like to thank Professor Ashok Kumar Pal and Dr. Arup Ratan Bishwas for taking such initiative to organize such program on National Science Day. And I'd also like to thank Dr. Momita Ghosh for coordinating this program wonderfully. Thank you very much, ma'am. And last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants. They are just having their patience and listening the talks, and I hope this will enrich the knowledge in future. Thank you, everybody.
Okay, thank you all. It was a very nice program and nicely coordinated. Okay. And special thanks to Dr. Arup Ratan Bishwas, Dr. Krishanu Chatterjee, Dr. Momita Ghosh, Dr. Shudip Kumar Ghosh, and the student speakers. It was very interesting, and by this way we can grow. So thank you all.
With this note, thank you all, and we finish our seminar today.
Yeah, we can finish. Okay, we can leave. We can stop.
Yes, we can. I will end the seminar. Yes.
Okay. You can stop presenting. That stop the recording.
Yes.
Stop the recording.